Have you ever noticed that people can say all the right things and still leave you unconvinced? Why? Because behavior has a voice, and sometimes it speaks louder than words. Welcome to Credible Communication Podcast. I'm Anetria Pollard, and today we're talking about something powerful: how actions communicate, even when words are absent. Because credible communication is more than what we say, it's how we live, it's our consistency, our integrity, our presence, our follow through. People may hear your words, but over time, they believe your behavior. And honestly, all of us have experienced this at some point. Someone said, "I'm here for you," but disappeared when life became difficult. Or maybe someone never said much at all, but their consistency, their kindness, their support spoke volumes. That's the power of behavior. Behavior communicates. Let's start here. People may hear what you say, but they believe what you repeatedly do. Your words sometimes compete with your behavior. For example, a husband may say, "You matter to me," but if he never listens, never makes time, never remember important conversations, or stay emotionally disconnected, eventually the behavior becomes louder than the words. But then there's the spouse who checks in consistently, who prays with you, supports you, encourages you during difficult seasons, and stay emotionally present. That kind of love doesn't always need long speeches because consistency itself becomes communication. James 2 and 17 says, "Faith by itself, if it is not accompanied by action, is dead." That scripture reminds us that words alone are incomplete. Real faith produces evidence. Real love produces evidence. And real commitment produces evidence. People trust patterns more than promises. Communication, I believe, is deeper than conversation. Communication is more than words. Communication is our tone, how our tone is communicated. Our body language, it also communicates. Our facial expressions communicate. Silence communicates. Presence communicates. Have you ever asked someone if they were okay and they answered, "I'm fine," but you knew they weren't? Their posture changed. Their eyes looked distant. Their voice sounded heavy. Without realizing it, their behavior revealed what their words tried to hide. And sometimes those the most meaningful communication comes from simply showing up. For example, a parent attending a game, a recital, a graduation, or sitting quietly beside someone in grief. That communicates love without saying much at all. Proverbs 20 and 11 says, "Even a child is known by his actions, by whether his conduct is pure and right." People often listen with their eyes before they listen with their ears. Our behavior, it sends messages daily, every single day. Our behavior, it teaches people what they can expect from us. A leader may say, "My door is always open," but every conversation feels rushed. It feels dismissive or interrupted. Eventually, people stop coming, not because of the words, but because of the experience. A friend may constantly say, "Call me if you need anything." But when difficult moments come, they're unavailable. Eventually, that behavior defines credibility. And honestly, sometimes the greatest communication in marriage isn't dramatic at all. It's consistency. It's sitting together. It's praying together, checking in emotionally, showing up during hard seasons. First Peter 2:12 says, "Live such good lives that they may see your good deeds." Your daily habits are speaking for you long before your mouth even opens. Trust is being built through alignment. Trust grows when words and actions agree. That's integrity. When behavior align with the message. Sometimes someone may publicly teach forgiveness, but privately they hold bitterness. They speak harshly or mistreat people closest to them. Eventually, people notice the disconnect. But there's something powerful about people whose lives are aligned. People who apologize sincerely. People who keep commitments. People who treat others consistently, both publicly and privately. That alignment builds trust. And Matthew 5:37 says, "Let your yes be yes and your no, no." Credibility grows if your actions will match your words. Credibility grows when people no longer have to wonder if your actions will match your words. Your life speaks before you do. Our lives often preach before our mouths ever speak. A person can post scripture every day and still communicate something completely different through their behavior. But kindness, humility, peace, patience, consistency, those things speak loudly. Sometimes the greatest witness isn't a sermon, it's character. First John 3:18 says, "Let us not love with words or speech, but with actions and in truth." Your life may be the loudest message people ever hear from you. Words introduce us, but behavior reveals us. Over time, actions become the language people trust. Credible communication is not just heard, it's demonstrated. Thank you for joining me for this episode of Credible Communication. If this episode encouraged you, subscribe. Share it with someone who may need this reminder that consistency, integrity, and aligned behavior still matter. And remember, your words carry power, but your action gives those words credibility. I'm Anetria Pollard, and remember, credibility builds eternal bonds. Until next time.